Andy's Garage, I'm Andy Phillips. Today I'm going to show you how to fix cracked fiberglass. So let's go ahead and get started. Basically all you'll need is this Bondo fiberglass repair kit if you're dealing with a small crack, which is what I'm going to be showing in this video. If it's something larger, you may need to get a larger container of resin, but basically this kit comes with everything you need. You get the resin, you get the hardener, you get the fiberglass cloth, the applicator, all the things that you need for this kit right here in order to be able to complete the job. What I'm dealing with here is the front end of a car that had a fiberglass scoop underneath, and somebody bottomed out, ripped it, cracked the body right here. The outside has been fixed already, the body, but we're going to go ahead and reinforce this back right here. First thing that you're going to want to do is clean that area real good with you can either use acetone, or I'm using some warm soapy water just to get any dirt and debris off of here. Get it nice and clean before we apply the resin and the fiberglass material. So you want to clean that real good. So I'm going to finish cleaning it. We'll be right back. Okay, so the area has been cleaned very well. We're going to go ahead and let it dry, and then we'll be back to start applying the resin. Okay, now if you were dealing with damaged fiberglass on the exterior of a boat or vehicle or whatever, you would have to sand it down to get any of the gel coat or the paint or anything off before you do the next step. Now in this case I'm doing on the interior of the fiberglass, so there was never any coating on that, so we went ahead and we cleaned it already. So the next thing I'm going to do while that's drying is I'm going to go ahead and start cutting the fiber cloth, getting that ready, and then we'll start mixing the resin and hardener so we can go underneath and start applying it to kind of rebuild up the structure. So we have here our resin. This is the fiber cloth. This is the hardener. You have a stirring stick, and then you have an applicator. So I'm going to go ahead and start cutting these down to the size that we'll need. And you may want to use gloves for this. I probably should, even though I'm not, but you probably should with that. Went ahead and cut the fiberglass sheet here. We have one long strand to cover the length of the crack, and then I have some smaller ones that will then overlap to patch it, to reinforce it. A couple other things that you'll need that I forgot to mention. You'll need some kind of face mask or respirator because the odors are very strong. And another thing that you're going to need is a small paintbrush that we can use to apply it. We have this mixing tray here. We're going to start to mix it. And basically the ratio for mixing the hardener, if you're using this here, is for every 6 tablespoons of resin, you're going to mix a 1/4 teaspoon of hardener. So I'm going to go ahead and get that all mixed in here, and we'll be right back. Going to go ahead and stir it in. We have the hardener in there. You've got approximately 8 to 12 minutes for this thing to dry. So we're adding it in, and then we're going to head underneath the vehicle and start applying it with the brush. All right, so we're going to take our brush and we're going to apply the resin onto the crack. You want to apply it very liberally. Overlap it out. So now we can go ahead and apply our first sheet right here. Go ahead and do that. And now we're going to apply more resin over it. There we go. Dab it on there. You want to act fast because this stuff dries fast. I'm going to finish doing this. We'll be right back. I went ahead now. We applied another coat of resin, and I put the horizontal patches on there. So now I'm going to encase that and another coating of resin, and then that should wrap it up. Just spreading on the final coat. You can see the patches are all covered in the resin. It's all spread out. You want to overlap it real good. And then now you're going to want to let this dry approximately 2 hours for it to harden. And then that should wrap it up. Okay, it's been roughly about 2 hours. The resin has hardened nice and dried. I went ahead and actually added a third application of the fiber cloth after the last video clip. So got about 3 layers, have a lot of resin on there, so that should definitely go ahead and fix that crack and kind of firm up the fiberglass. All right, well that pretty much wraps up this video on how to repair cracked fiberglass. As mentioned already, this is for repairing it on the inside. On the outside, if you're dealing with the body of something, you would want to do it differently with removing any of the paint primer. You could use the resin. You could also use fiberglass body filler depending on what you're doing. But for this particular one, it was for dealing with the actual resin piece that was cracked. Using this Bondo fiberglass repair kit, this worked great. The only thing I would have done differently is I would have used gloves. I don't know why I didn't think of that. So, but anyway, that wraps up this video. Please send any questions, any comments. I would love to hear from you. As always, I appreciate the support, so please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.